What is going on, guys? B2B FIFA here, and welcome to episode 13 of the Academy Project. Today, as almost every episode, we start by doing a little bit of training. We actually begin by training Shaw. We want to go ahead and do a little bit of passing training for him. We also decide to go ahead and train Strockman, who's actually dubbing as our center back. He's actually a left back. And we train Cooper. Thomas, of course, is in there. As I mentioned in the previous episode, Harris as well, almost forgot him. As I mentioned in the previous episode, Thomas, we're trying to get him up to scratch with his shooting because we are eventually going to have to start using him. Fixture congestion is getting to us. Our team is exhausted, and we just need to start putting him into games. Even though he may not be to where we need him to be, at least his shooting will be okay. And here, as you can see, the transfer window is closing. The January transfer window is coming to an end. We only got 3 hours left. 2 hours at this point, and we actually get an offer here. We get an offer for Co, and I'm like, what should I do? I actually decide to accept this offer, boys. Why? I don't like Co. I just don't like him. I know he's a youth product and everything, and we want as many youth players as we can get, but I just don't like him. I rather, we have more than enough youth players at this point where I felt like we could let someone go. And here we try to let this guy go. Unfortunately, those other transfers don't go through because we only had an hour left. And that's how the transfer deadline day ended, boys. Here we look into our scouting report. I noticed that Oliver Anderson here is old enough. He's CDM. Go ahead and offer him a contract. And Terje Lundi here, also we offer him a contract. Both 16-year-old players. We have a training injury. Unfortunate there. But we basically start simulating to the game against Cheltenham Town. And as you can see there, fixture congestion is just annoying at this point. We really needs to start putting some more depth in the squad. I'm going to probably send the scouts out to the Americas. I always like to, and this is because I'm American, of course, but I always like to send the scout once out to the United States and once out to Canada and once out to Mexico. I like to have a little mix of players. Now, obviously, we're always going to send one of the scouts to England and the other places, the UK, Ireland, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and so on and so forth. I wish we could send them to Wales, but of course, we still don't have that option in FIFA. Sort yourself out, EA. Anyways, doing a little bit of maintenance here, getting the team ready, trying to get it as fresh as I possibly can for this next game against Cheltenham Town. Oliver Anderson accepts our contract. We had a little problem here. Actually, I make some changes. I decided to put Tushav out because he's injured. And we go ahead and continue. I believe it tells me that we still have problems when I try to go back in. Let me see if it does or doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay. So we jump into the next game. I go ahead and choose our blue kits because I don't know, I feel like orange and red could be a bit of a clash, but I like the blue kit anyways. It's alright. Don't like it as much as the orange, but we begin the first game against Cheltenham Town, boys. Cheltenham Town is a team that I like very much. And the only reason I like them is because for many years that I've been playing FIFA, I've always used them. Oh, and by the way, they got a really good shot right there. And Cooper does what Cooper does. He stops it. He's a shot stopper, and that's what he does. And here they're on the ball again. They get another opportunity, and once again, Cooper comes up clutch for us. But what I was saying, I always use Cheltenham Town because I like their colors, I like their badge. I just like them overall. No reason. I've always used them. Anyways, here Cheltenham Town is on the ball again. They're moving it around nicely, holding up play right there. Does me dirty. And he's just messing with me right now. He's just sending it in. And Morgan Smith, big dude. I feel like all the and they get another good shot right there. Cooper doing Cooper things. He was offsides right there. But I feel like all the League 2 teams have like this big unit at front. Look at this. They got another opportunity. That was my fault right there. Oh man, I was disappointed when that happened. That was completely my fault because instead of sending the normal like over the top that I do out from the goal kick, I did a a regular pass, and I was out of position. It was just terrible. And here Kryn gets an opportunity from a free kick, and look at that right there. That went fizzing next to the post. That was real close. And that's how the first half ends, boys. Not many opportunity for us. Morgan Smith scores for them. And right here, I'm on the ball. Yalman has it right now. Sends it over to Suk. Suk is like trying to find something on the inside. Sends it over to Kryn. Kryn takes a shot. And unfortunately, it wasn't the best of shots. But I needed to make something happen here. And right here, I'm passing it around the back a little bit. I decided to go ahead and pause the game. And of course, 75th minute, you guys know what I do. I go in and I make some changes. I decided to put Shaw in because, of course, Suk is tired. I go ahead and I take put Johannesson in. I decided I'm just going to make those two changes for now. Then I'm like, you know what? No, let me take Martin out. Let me put Harris in. Because even though Martin has potential, Harris is the one who's been producing for us. So I go ahead and there he is. Harris is on the ball right now. He tries to protect it in the 89th minute. Gets a foul. There's that yellow card for Holman. And I decide to put Kryn on the ball. It's the 89th minute. We're losing. And I'm like, who am I going to shoot with? I was looking for Suk because Suk is right-footed. But I forgot I'd taken that out. And I was like, you know what? Let me bang it with Kryn. Let me bang it with Kryn. This was my mistake. I moved it way too much to the right. But look at that, boys. That went right. Oh my God, I can't believe I missed that. Anyways, right here on the ball with Sip in the 90th minute. Try to get a shot, and I can't. And that, unfortunately, was our very last opportunity of the game. Yes, I know. I took another loss. Oh, man. You know what? They deserve to win. They definitely deserve to win, but I felt like we could have gotten more at that game. We could have gotten more out of that game, boys. Right here, I'm just making sure. Well, I'm not making sure, but I received the emails that my boys have already joined the first team. And Charlie Thomas, once again, doing a little bit of training. Johannesson, but this is the other Johannesson, not the CM Johannesson. Gets a little training. Shaw, once again, trying to get him up to scratch as well because we want him to be a true replacement for Suk when he's not playing. Strachan, once again, our makeshift center back. And McNeil, this time, we actually put him to train, and he actually grows to overall 57. Thomas grows to 49. Pretty happy with what's going on there. And once again, I think I've mentioned this in the last episode. I'm just messing around with this press conference, trying to sway games my way, if that's even possible by going to these press conferences. But anyways, I'm doing a little bit of maintenance here, and you saw that big move right there. I took Kryn out and I put Thomas in, and this is the game that Thomas has been preparing for since he joined the academy. His debut with the first team, boys. But to be honest, a lot of our players were actually out. Sip is out, Johannesson is out, Suk is out. Basically, I go ahead and I put in the new right back as well, Lund, and I put Cartal in for our first team left back, left back. And I'm like, that's it's a pretty weak squad for the FA Cup, but it is against Barnet. It's not like they're huge opposition or anything. And boys, I was nervous. I was very nervous. Oh, and by the way, we're playing against Slocum, who we sold because he was never going to get any game time with us. So yeah, I was very nervous going into this game because it's essentially a second string team. And I mean, our team is already not the greatest because they're all youth players, and they all have low potential. Well, not all of them have low potential, but they have low overalls, and most of them don't have very much potential. So we're already at a disadvantage, and then I'm throwing in the backups to the youth players, and it's like Ronaldinho's like, man, I hope I made the right decision. He doesn't know what to think, but we couldn't field that other team. They were too exhausted. The fixture congestion was just too bad. And we're here looking at Slocum's team. That Dembele guy, I played against him. He is a monster. He's really hard to break down. But Anyways, let's get started with the first half here. And Barnett on the ball. We go ahead and steal the ball. Cartel doing a little bit of work right there. He's a big physical left back right there. Nothing happens, boys. Nothing happens. And here we are in the second half already. The entire first half was just boring. Now, I will tell you, I dominated possession of this game. But passing the ball around, that's not something that I'm going to put into the video. Anyways, Lundy on the ball here, sends it in. Harris has the ball. Harris takes a shot and he tries to recover and he can't. But I mean, Harris, once again, he's that little Carlos Tevez type player. He just fights and he's just grit and soul and everything. Anyways, Shaw on the ball right here, sends it into Johannesson. And this is this Sphere Johannesson guy. He goes ahead and sends it in to our boy Thomas, and Thomas slows down, hits it, and it's blocked but still goes in. Now, what's really upsetting about this is even though it was going towards net, they gave that to Slocum as an own goal. I was really upset about that. But anyways, it's basically the 80th minute right here. Our player gets basically taken out. He gets injured and finally the ref stops the game. Johannesson is on the floor and I'm like, oh man, you know what? Let me make some changes now anyways. So I go ahead and I decide to put Sip in. I also put Suk in for Shaw, and I believe I take Johannesson, the other Johannesson, out, and I put Olsen in. And I just wanted to strengthen the core of our team, and of course I had to take out Sphere Johannesson because he was tired. And that, boys, is how the game ends, and we leave with a 1-0 lead. That should have been Charlie Thomas's goal. They gave it to Slocum as an own goal. Whatever, I don't care. You see that we dominated in possession. We dominated the game in general, but we only got a couple opportunities. And Charlie Thomas did good on his one chance. So I'm pretty happy with him. Here, Johannesson is injured. So, of course, I have to go ahead and try to replace the guy. And I put him into reserves. And I'm just doing a little bit of other maintenance here. Olsen goes in the team. Not Olsen, but Anderson goes in the team. I'm looking at Carter and I'm like, you know what? He's 53 overall. I probably should play the guy. Martin goes into the squad instead of Harris. I put in Dewey Dar or whatever his name is. I'm going to call him Dudar. If you guys correct me, please do so in the comments below. But I decide to go ahead and put Kren in. Sip. Basically the stronger 11 or a slightly stronger 11 than the one we fielded last game. And I go into the office. I see that one of the games was rescheduled. We get some tournament prize money for the FA Cup. So we continue to advance in the FA Cup, boys. Now, I don't know how much farther I'm going to get here. Our last game against Luton Town. Don't know how much farther we're going to get in the FA Cup because it's getting to the point where we're going to have to eventually start playing against the Championship and the Premiership team. So we'll see how far we get. Hopefully we can do a giant killing. But here, Olsen on the ball, sends it out to Amison, the only real player left on the team. Amison has the ball. He's a pretty good center back, this guy right here. Sends it out to Kren. Kren sends it out to Olsen. Olsen covers really good. Martin on the ball, holds up, sends it, tries to send it back into Kren. Kren, correct right there, gets it back. We get a chance right here with Olsen, and Olsen takes a shot. Unfortunately, it gets blocked. So right here, Strachan on the ball, sends it to Yeoman. Yeoman's looking for something, sends it back over to Anderson. Anderson sends it over to Olsen. Olsen to Suk, and Suk is on the ball. And when Suk is on the ball, he always creates something nice. But anyways, right here, Kren is on the ball. Kren is looking for something, and Sip takes a shot, and it gets blocked, boys. Very disappointed with that, but Suk once again recovers right here. He sends it out to Kren. Kren is on the wing. Kren does a little step over right there, gets it over to Olsen. Olsen to Yeoman, and Yeoman takes a shot, and it gets blocked. But as you can see, we are attacking. We went into this game with the idea of attacking the nonsense out of this team. And Luton Town gets their one and only opportunity up until the 38th minute right there. In the 42nd minute here, I'm over here trying to save that ball. I can't. It's too far away. And Luton Town goes in. And they're basically on the win, trying to protect the ball. They get this opportunity right here. Hits the post. And Cooper, oh my God. Cooper. I love this keeper. I know I've talked trash about him before, but he is, when he needs to show up, he shows up. So right here, Olsen on the ball, sends it over to Suk. Suk sends it over to Anderson, and Anderson up to Sip. Sip sends it back to Dudar. Once again, Sip on the ball, sends it over to Anderson. Just a little intricate passing right here. Kryn is on the ball right there. Kryn is like, okay, sends it over to Suk. Suk back to Kryn. And Kryn takes a shot, and look at that, boys. In the 45th minute, little 1-2 passes back and forth, trying to open a little space. And we finally get the space that we were looking for. And Kryn makes good on that opportunity. Kryn, I wonder how many goals he has at this point. I'll probably go ahead and take a look at the beginning of next episode of how many goals he has. But that's how the first half ends, boys. We just attacked and finally got rewarded. And here we begin in the second half of this game. Here, Luton Town has a corner kick in the 67th minute. They go ahead and basically send it out. And at this point, it's 68th minute, very close to the 70th minute. You know what time it is. Sook goes out for Shaw. And Anderson comes in for Olsen. And I think Carter comes in as well for the other Anderson. So here I am. Recover the ball. Strachan gets it taken away from him. And Luton Town is basically trying to work some slowly right here. They're on the ball, passing it really well. They get an opportunity right here. Goes wide, but only narrowly. Cooper sends it out in the 90th minute. Sip tries to collect. He can't. Gets the ball taken away from him. Luton Town's on the ball. But, boys, this is basically where it ends. I mean, right here, I go ahead and clear it. And that's the end of the game. Boys, we win another, and I'm very happy with our results today. I know this episode wasn't filled with a bunch of goals, but if you did enjoy it, please leave a like, go ahead and subscribe, and you guys have an awesome day. Peace.